Hello, I'm Ahsan Bashir, enrolled agent and IRS certifying acceptance agent with Z Tax and Accounting. Are you a U.S. citizen, green card holder, dual citizen, or expat living outside the United States who recently discovered you should have been filing U.S. tax returns, FBARs, or other international tax forms? If so, you may qualify for the IRS Streamlined Foreign Offshore Procedures, commonly known as SFOP or SFOP. In today's video, I will explain what SFOP is, who may qualify, what documents are typically required, and why this program has helped many taxpayers become compliant with U.S. tax laws. So what is an SFOP? The Streamlined Foreign Offshore Procedure is an IRS compliance program designed for taxpayers living outside the United States who failed to meet certain U.S. tax reporting obligations. Many taxpayers are surprised to learn that U.S. citizens and green card holders generally remain subject to U.S. tax reporting requirements even while living abroad. As a result, taxpayers may discover years later that they should have filed FBARs, also known as FinCEN Form 114, Form 8938, Form 3520, or other international information returns. The good news is that the IRS created the Streamlined Foreign Offshore Procedures Program to help eligible taxpayers correct prior filing issues and become compliant. Who may qualify? Generally, SFOP is intended for taxpayers residing outside the United States whose failure to comply was non-willful. Common examples include an American working in the United Arab Emirates, for example, a U.S. citizen living in Canada, a dual citizen residing in the United Kingdom, an American retiree living overseas, a green card holder who returned to their home country but remained subject to certain U.S. filing requirements. One of the most important requirements is that the taxpayer's conduct must have been non-willful. Non-willful generally means the failure resulted from negligence, mistake, or a good faith misunderstanding of the law. For example, many taxpayers simply did not know they were required to file FBARs or international information returns while living abroad. Every situation is different and should be reviewed individually. What must be filed? A typical SFOP submission generally includes 3 years of tax returns. Depending on the situation, those returns may include foreign income reporting, foreign tax credits, foreign earned income exclusion claims, Form 8938, Form 3520, Form 5471, Form 8865, or other international information returns. In addition, taxpayers generally submit 6 years of FBAR filings for reportable foreign financial accounts. Not every taxpayer requires every international form. The required filings depend on the taxpayer's specific facts and circumstances. The non-willful certification. One of the most important parts of an SFOP submission is the non-willful certification. The certification is made on IRS Form 14653. The taxpayer must explain why the required filings were missed. For example, perhaps the taxpayer relied on a foreign accountant who was unfamiliar with U.S. reporting requirements. Perhaps the taxpayer was never informed about FBAR filing obligations. Perhaps they recently learned about the Form 8938 or other international reporting forms. The certification should accurately explain the taxpayer's circumstances and why the non-compliance was non-willful. This is often one of the most important documents included in the entire submission. Major benefits of SFOP. One reason many taxpayers pursue SFOP is the potential opportunity to become compliant while resolving prior reporting issues. An important distinction between SFOP and SDOP is that eligible taxpayers under the foreign Streamlined program generally are not subject to the 5% offshore penalty that applies under the domestic Streamlined program. However, eligibility requirements must be carefully reviewed before making any submission to the IRS. If you live outside the United States and recently discovered you missed FBAR filings, Form 8938 reporting requirements, foreign gift reporting obligations, or other international tax compliance issues, you may still have options available. The Streamlined Foreign Offshore Procedure Program was specifically designed to help eligible taxpayers come back into compliance with U.S. tax laws. My name is Ahsan Bashir, EA/CAA with Z Tax and Accounting. If you need assistance with FBAR filings, Form 8938, Form 3520, SFOP, SDOP, or international tax compliance matters, we would be happy to assist. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and follow for additional videos on expat taxes, international tax compliance, offshore reporting, and IRS representation. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.